Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. So today we're doing another Watch Me Work Halloween themed nails. I love Halloween. Can't tell already. My decorations, I decorate the room. I leave candy out for my customers. I love Halloween. So we did some 5 basic designs last week. So this week I wanted to do more of a themed Halloween nail. So I went with none other than Jason. So we're going to be doing a Friday the 13th Jason type theme nail art design. So we're going to be starting that right now. So I'm going to begin by cleansing the nails and applying base coat to all 5 nails. So as you know, in the draw video that I had posted, I like to just wipe up that tacky layer, even if it's just base coat. So the pinky nail, I decided it would be a cool idea to do a knife because we're doing a Jason theme. So I wanted it to be a knife, and because she has that one stiletto nail, it would be very cool effect to have the tip of that nail be the edge of the knife. So I'm going in with a little bit of gray and white just to give it some shading and some tones, and then I'm going to draw the handle on the knife as well. I'm using a little bit of the lighter brown just to give it some more color, because as you know, natural wood or wood handle on anything isn't just straight brown. You want to give it, this is how we make pictures come to life a little bit, by making it look as realistic as possible. And then I'm going to outline the edge of the knife just so it stands out a little bit in a little bit of a darker gray tone. So once that's completed, I'm going to go in with some red just to give it some splatter, make it look like the knife is nice and bloody and dripping with some red blood. For this next nail, I wanted to do a woods background image. So I'm using 3 different tones of green, and all I did was take a little bit of cotton and wrap it around my orange wood stick, just because using a brush would give you straight lines, and I wanted it to be kind of a foggy image of the wood scene in the background. So I'm using the 3 different tones of green and layering on top and curing in between. Same thing with the browns. I'm giving the tree bark a little bit of color and depth with using 2 different shades of brown. And I'm just going to fill that in as much as possible, adding as much color, and keep blotting it so that it's kind of a blurred image. I didn't want a straight image of a tree in the back for the background. Now I'll add a little bit of orange. I know that seems weird, but a little bit of orange and darker green just to kind of give the background image that little hint of color that you see in the background of the trees. I don't want to see her nail anymore. I want to use a little bit of the orange for that. And then I'm going to go with the darker green to kind of create that the grass look at the bottom of the nail on the free edge. Once I'm satisfied with that, I wanted it to be a matte background, so I'm using matte top coat to just give it that matte look. And I'm using a bright yellow to paint a danger sign across the whole nail. So the next nail is going to be Jason. And I do have a reference picture that I am looking at off screen. And it's a picture of him, but he's kind of faded in the background. So as I explained how I do my nail art is we always break down the picture. So as you see me create this nail, it starts off as a big bright white. I know he's not that white, but we're creating the hockey mask, but it needs to be dirty and roughed up. So I used a little bit of white to start with, and I'm using some brown tones to kind of slowly make that hockey mask look dirty. It needs to look dirty and old and rustic, and his face needs to kind of pop out from the background. So you'll see me just creating the eyes and keep adding more and more color as I dirty up that look and kind of fade it out. So I'm going in with a little bit of black just to kind of get my shaping right, and then adding a little bit of brown around it. Like I said, I want to fade it out, and I'm going with that same method as I used with the trees, with a little bit of cotton to give it like a smoke look. I know he doesn't look like Jason now, but he looks like the Scream mask almost, but it'll all come together at the end. So I want to fade out all the sharp edges that I made with the white so it looks more blurred. So you can see here, layer after layer, I'm trying to use different tones, different grays, different browns. I'm using my finger to blot it down because I want it to look dirty. I still want it to appear white, but I want it to look dirty. So now I'm adding in the hockey mask holes that'll be in the face and at the bottom using my daughter tool. With my liner brush, I'm going back over the lines that I created in white because I want them to pop a little bit. So I'm just giving it a little bit of definition by just using a little bit of the brown and a little bit of white to highlight the eyes and the nose. Now I'm using my liner brush to create those red marks that are on the hockey mask. I'm going to first get my lines with the liner brush, and then using the cotton tipped orange wood stick, I'm going to just smudge it out a little bit so it doesn't look, remember this is not a new mask, so it needs to look old and dirty and rustic, so I didn't want straight lines for that. Once most of that is completed, I'm going to again go over the top and the bottom to kind of fade it out a little bit. I want the holes in the hockey mask and everything to still be visible, but I want it to appear like he's coming from the dark. For this nail, I want it to paint it gray, and then I'm going over the edges with the little brown. Again, still sticking with the whole theme of Jason, woodsy, dusty, dark, dirty, grungy look. So I'm gonna, before I even cure that gray, I'm gonna outline it in black so it's kind of blurred, and then go back in with the brown like I did with the other nails to kind of create more of a dirty look. I'm adding a little bit of green, again, because it's woodsy, dirty, mossy type look. I want that nail to look really kind of gross and dirty looking. Now I'm gonna write Mama's Boy in red across the nail. Using my nail brush and a little bit of red polish, I'm just gonna dab the nail so it appears like blood splatters. I'm applying top coat, regular top coat to the pinky and the thumb, and then Jason will be matte as well, so I'm using a matte top coat before I begin the pointer finger. For the pointer finger, it's going to be a sliced nail. So I'm using a little bit of a nude Valentino. I'm applying that on. And before it sets, I'm going to use my cuticle pusher to kind of engrave little marks, little slashes across the nail. I want it to be kind of rough looking, like just like a real cut or a wound. And I'm just going to poke with it, stretch out the holes a little bit. And then I'm going to use my nippers to cut little bits of that. It's a little blurry, sorry about that, but just to kind of give it more of a wounded look. I'm gonna go in and lightly with a very wet bead, just put a little bit of red acrylic into each one of those slice marks. I will eventually go back over it, but I want it to have a base color underneath. I didn't want to 100% rely on using gel polish to give me the two different tones of red. So once that sets up, I'm going in with a little bit of nude polish just to kind of paint over the edges of those cuts so it appears more like skin. I'm using like a natural nude gel polish. I'm going back in with some brown, again, sticking with the whole theme of a dirty. You never have a stab wound and it looks perfectly clean. So we got to make this nail look a little dirty and grungy and old, just like the rest of the nails. So I'm using a couple different tones of brown just to paint all around the nail. Going in to use a little bit of that deeper red that I have, and I'm painting it on kind of heavy so it looks a little blobbish in some of the areas, not the whole entire portion that's sliced, but just kind of around the edges so it looks like blood is spewing out of the side, like it looks like a nice fresh open wound. So once that nail was completed, me and my customer both agreed we just weren't feeling the pinky nail anymore. It was just, it looked too light and everything else looked dark and dirty. So we painted the background black instead of leaving it nude. And I went to kind of darken and dirty up the knife a little bit. And then I went in with a little bit of red polish and wrote the words "run" across where the black is. Now I'm going in with a little bit of top coat, just to cover up everything that we did. And I also want to put a little bit of top coat over the danger part because I was done with gel polish and I wanted that to not dim and shine as well. So this was the completed look. I love these nails. These are probably my favorite Halloween nails to date. I love them. They look so scary and gruesome.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Halloween nail designs that we've created thus far. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.